Before you listen to this episode of the Football Journeys podcast with yet another inspiring guest, we have a few favours to ask. The success of this podcast depends on its reach. If you enjoy the podcast, please do what you can to promote our hard work. Give us a 5-star rating, leave a nice review, tell your friends, or promote us on social media. You can find us on Instagram, Threads, and we're still on the other place too. Find us on @JourneysPod. You might even find us on TikTok these days. Even just a like on our clips, trailers and posts can boost engagement and bring more listeners. Please, please, please spread the word. And if you know any brands or organisations who share our values and who might be interested in partnering with us, then please do put them in touch. Or if you know someone who has had an inspiring football journey, get in touch to tell us more. We'd love to hear from you. You can email us at footballjourneys@b5consultancy.com.
Welcome to the Football Journeys podcast with me, Matt Hemsworth.
Me, Fraser Franks.
Well, we're back at the UCFB studios in the shadow of Wembley. We're recording this 1 week after the FA Cup final, and it's the weekend before the playoff finals. It's the calm before the storm, where hearts will be broken and dreams will be made, which is the perfect mix of emotions to introduce our guest today, Hervé Pepe-Ngoma. He was raised in Germany by Congolese parents until the age of 8. When they brought him to the UK, and he didn't speak a word of English. You'll be pleased to hear he does now, though. He did, however, share a common language, and that was football. He was picked up at the age of 9 by Leicester City's academy. He became part of the future there, picked up the Academy Player of the Year at the age of 18 and signing a first-year pro. Life seemed perfect until it wasn't. An injury in pre-season meant he went on loan to Corby Town to rebuild, and he helped them win the Southern Premier Division. But when he returned with a trophy under his belt, it was bad news. Having not kicked a ball for Leicester that season, he was released. More injuries followed, more graft in non-league football. But it's a combination of football and another one of his loves, music, which is Hervé's real success story. There's an Instagram video on his account at @DJPeps_, which is captioned, "My 24 hours playing non-league football and DJing." And just watching it makes me feel exhausted. It shows real hard work and a passion that can create experiences and a real sense of purpose. He now goes into clubs to work with academy footballers and sends a strong message about exploring other interests beyond the game. And he's even DJ'd at Premier League events. Welcome to the podcast, DJ Peps.
Thank you, pleasure to be here.
Well, look, we always start right at the beginning. We like to go back and talk a little bit about childhood, because look, the reason that we're all involved in football in some way is because we love the game as a kid. And I want to take you back, and I try and think how much I can remember for being 8 years of age, but I'm going to ask you to try and put you back in the mind of a kid that didn't think in English because didn't speak it at the time. So I want to take you back to that 8-year-old kid arriving in a freezing cold Leicester. Well, Germany wasn't that warm either, was it? But being that kid that didn't speak English, turning up at primary school, not being able to speak to the other kids, what are your recollections of that?
Yeah, it's just me and my sister, because obviously my sister's a year older than me, so it's like that's the only person I had at school. So but I can only see her like lunch and break times, whatever. So it's like when I'm in the class and that now, it's just try and learn the language. Just try and make friends, basically.
Yeah. And there's that one thing that helped you make friends. You could play football.
Yeah.
So you go and see your sister for a bit of support, but really quickly the ball, was it a ball? My primary school, we could only play with tennis balls. But the ball, which you'd think would turn me into a great footballer, it didn't work. Yeah. Once those balls started coming out and having to kick around, it's that kind of thing. Fraser, you and I have spoken about this before, and it's totally wrong that someone will see someone who's good at football all of a sudden assume that they're a good person as well. Yeah. But you get that, don't you? Yeah, totally as kids.
Definitely. Yeah. Once obviously lunchtime, started playing football, started making 1 or 2 friends, and then I can't remember learning English. I can just remember not being able to speak it, and then I can just remember being able to speak it. I don't remember that bit where it's like I'm trying to learn it. You get me?
Yeah, I totally get that. It's amazing how quickly kids pick things up as well, and also how your memory kind of blots out some of those experiences as well, because it would have been really, really tough times. And it's something I've said before. I'm really fascinated by the children of parents who have gone somewhere seeking to find their dream, and that's what your dad did. So I think your dad met your mum in Germany. Sorry, he'd come from Congo to come to Europe to seek to make something of himself. Yeah. And I think people that come from parents that have taken those kind of risks, I think it sometimes gives them a little bit of an advantage to work hard, succeed, and adapt And that's exactly what happened to you. I mean, what were the kind of the ethics that your mum and dad laid down, the expectations they had of you?
Again, to be fair, so even with their work, they had a shop. Like, my mum's a hairdresser, so she had that, and then at the shop, it was like hairdresser and selling African food. And that's like the African food side, my dad did it. So they've always been self-employed as well. So it's like me growing up, it was just football. But after obviously football and really going to work, I struggled with that employment mindset because all I've seen growing up is self-employment.
Entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Which a lot of immigrant families are very, very entrepreneurial. And the kind of, you mentioned, that's really interesting to me because we think of, so it's Leicester that you grew up in.
Yeah.
And we think of Leicester, it's got a really large South Asian community, a thriving South Asian community, but maybe slightly overlooked would be the African community there. Were you kind of surrounded by, I mean, who were you surrounded by? Was it kind of a mix of South Asian, African, Caribbean?
So my primary school was urban and there was more Caribbean. So like growing up and even like now, all my close friends, they're all Caribbean. But yeah, it was quite a bad, not a bad school, but it wasn't like people from that primary school gone out, done whatever they're doing in it. So it's like, weren't like a nice school.
This wasn't a prep school.
Yeah, it weren't a prep school, yeah.
Well,
It's built character.
Yeah, well, at least you do. And then, look, you got picked up quite, I mean, you'd been in the UK for a year when you got picked up by Leicester City.
Yeah, to be fair, literally, I just remember I signed for one team, maybe a few months, I was like too good for them, so I went to like, you know, like when you're younger, it's like Division 1, I think. Went to the Division 1 team, like, I wasn't even there for that long, and then went on trials to Leicester. But what was funny is I was on trials to Leicester, but because it used to be called 6 weeks trials, so I was there for 6 weeks. But you know when you're there now for like 8, 10 weeks, they're not giving you a decision. But at the same time, Nottingham Forest came in for me. So then I just went Nottingham, signed for them. I was there for 2 weeks. We then played Leicester. Leicester battered us. And then I went back to Leicester and ended up signing for Leicester. Because my dad as well for those 2 weeks said, yeah, this is long.
Yeah.
Driving to Nottingham for training and that. And it's like, if Leicester want you, it's on our doorstep. Just go back to Leicester. And then
Well, that parental commitment is something we talk about, Fraser, isn't it? It's I mean, your mum didn't drive, so she was running you around and getting you on trains to get to games. And it's interesting, just the kind of African influence. We had Yinka Tamori on the podcast, who's Fikayo Tamori's dad. He's a Nigerian accountant, and his mum is a doctor, and they knew nothing about football. I think he spoke about like the commitment of driving. It was like he couldn't believe that you were expected to do this. I mean, it must have been quite an eye opener for your mum and dad.
Yeah, that Nottingham thing. That's why we just went back Leicester.
What was their attitude with your football as a kid?
No, they wanted me to be a footballer. Like my dad loves football. He used to make me do extra sessions as a kid that I hated.
Really?
But obviously growing up now, I appreciate it, the extra sessions. But yeah, I remember like after school, I have to go training with him, like one-to-ones. It was like, I used to hate it. I was like, all kids don't have to do this. But yeah, so he proper wanted me to make it as well. So they were proper supportive.
What do you think of parents doing that now? Would you, if you had a son in the same position, would you have a different approach?
Yes, because I've lived it. My dad never lived it.
Exactly that.
It's really well intentioned.
Yeah, but he never lived it, so he doesn't understand what's and ends up being harmful.
Yeah.
But he's trying to
come from a good place.
Yeah.
It really does. But look, I mean, you were successful at Leicester. You had a great time there. You were there for 10 years, and just before the podcast recording started, we were talking about lads that have been at football clubs for a huge amount of times and they're still kids themselves. So you were there from 9 until 19. That's 10 years of your entire life at Leicester, going to the same place every day. But you were thriving. I think when you were 18, so that's your second year scholar. Yeah, Academy Player of the Year. Yeah. And you get a 1 year pro on that. I mean, and you two can both help me out on this one, but sometimes you will get more than 1 year pro when you're a scholar.
Yeah.
So that, I guess, is that the club saying to you, we think you got a chance, but we're still going to test you out?
I feel like for me, I wasn't like, although I had a sick second year, I wasn't like that guy that, do you know you have that like maybe 1-2 players that they're the ones that get the 2-3 year deals when everyone else just does the normal 1 year extensions and that. So I was never that guy, although I had a very good season. So them giving me a 1 year, I wasn't really too bothered, innit? Because I know they didn't see me in those regards. And also, these times, they weren't just flinging out pros. Like,
Yeah, so we've got 2013, 14.
they weren't
So I'm
flinging
going to
out
get it
pros
right
like
on
that.
Leicester. Is that a championship year or?
So that was the year we won the champ and went into the Prem.
Yeah.
So
It's very different now. You're more likely in a youth team to get a professional contract.
Yeah.
With my youth team, I think 2 of us got it. With yours, again, probably a small percentage.
there was
of
2 of us,
Two.
and I was the only one that made it through the whole system from like under 9s till.
And I also
pro.
think it was probably a proper pro contract then. I think now it's more of an extension to a youth career than actually going into a professional environment.
At my time, it was already an extension because we had 21s then, so it was an extension. I just missed that. It would have been your era where it's like there's no 21s.
Yeah.
It's just reserves.
Yeah.
You train with the first team every day.
Yeah.
And it's either you're in the first team or you're on loan or you're not playing.
So what was your first year professional? What's the first year like as a professional for you?
So again, gone into pre-season, I was a centre back at that time, but they had a few centre backs in that, and I've ended up playing left back in pre-season because the 2 left backs. So Ben Chilwell was a year younger than me. Obviously, he's flying these times. So it's like he would have been playing left back for the 21s, but he would have been a second year. But he was injured in pre-season. And then there's another lad called Callum Elder, who was older.
Both had really good careers, didn't they?
Exactly. He's a left back, and he was injured as well in pre-season.
And you're right-footed?
I'm right-footed. So it's like, otherwise I would have not even played in pre-season. So I just slotted in at left back. Again, I'm just like a solid 7 out of 10. I won't have a howler. I'm just solid because I just think about defending before anything else. Yeah. And then got injured. And I was injured from pre-season, it was against Leeds, up until Jan.
And what was the injury? Do you remember getting it?
It was so annoying as well. I did my ankle, like I rolled my ankle, so they just thought it was just ligaments. So I've done like 6 weeks thinking it's ligaments, but now I'm running, but my ankle keeps clicking. So then I go get a scan and then find out that I snapped my perineal tendon. So that means I need an operation. So it's like I've wasted 6 weeks already. Now I get operation and then they had to...
So if you'd have known, if you had the x-ray earlier, you would have known and got it sorted.
Yeah.
I would have just running on it, making it worse, presumably.
Yeah.
6 weeks.
I would have got back fit 6 weeks earlier. However, I think the outcome would have been the same. Because it's like, I was Academy Player of the Year the season before. Going into this season, no choice, I've been playing left back, got injured. Like, I've not played bad for Leicester yet. I've got back fit and go out on loan, get back fit, and then can come back in the 21s. I've done that, I've done well. I'm 18 now, gone to men's football, ended up winning the league. So it's like, I've still played well. You've told me to go somewhere, I've gone well there, we've won the league, and you release me. But I haven't played badly for you since I got the award.
Well, let's go to that. Let's go to Corby Town first. So, and actually, there's all those Neil Warnock memes of the things that he said, and there's one I think he's talking to Danny Cadamarteri, who was injured at the time. He says, "Oh, Danny, go and stand over there. I can't bear to see you." I think Danny Cadamarteri was injured at the time. And is it that feeling that you're injured at the time? No one really wants to see you. Oh, go and do your rehab. I don't really want to see you. No, to obviously say that, but
no,
that's
it is
the feeling
mad.
you get.
It is mad from like when you're playing. Even like just walking in the corridor, it's like staff want to say hello. But when you're injured, it's like no one cares about it.
You don't exist.
Until
you're fit.
Until you're fit, you don't exist.
Yeah.
It's like people don't even really want to talk to you anymore.
And so, but you work really hard, you get fit, and the suggestion is made to go out on loan. I think you're a big advocate for going out on loan. And men's football is like, there's nothing like men's football for preparing you for more men's football, and it's ultimately what you're going to do. So it's Southern Premier League, Corby Town, but I wouldn't do it down because that was a Corby team that were really doing well, pushing for promotion to, would it be National North or South? National North, wouldn't it, Corby?
When we got promoted.
Yeah,
we went into the step 2, National North.
I mean, how did you find that step to men's football? Because I think there's a lot of young lads who think, oh, right, I'm a Leicester player, so it's going to be easy, but it ain't easy.
I think the loan was the best thing that happened for my football career because that set me up for non-league. At least now I've got a little name in non-league. Even till today, that holds a bit of weight. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, say if I didn't go on loan and they just released me, I would have struggled to get a club, get an opportunity. I was able to like go to somewhere decent, play, and now I've got a little name for myself in the league. So this is the best thing.
And actually, because that comes, there's some lads who will have a bit of a misconception, say, well, I've been at an academy, it's a big name, like a Leicester or whatever else, and think, well, non-league clubs are going to have me because I was at Leicester. But non-league managers know that there's an elite, you know, as you described, the lads that are so super talented that they probably will come in and do all right. And then you've got lads, the next test is that they got the character and the physical strength. So, I mean, at the age of 18, were you playing centre-half?
Centre-back, yeah.
And how was that up against? There'll be some big old lumps you were marking.
Do you know what? It's like winning headers and that, it's never really been, I don't really care about that, but it's like I'm good at defending. And I feel like my football IQ is quite good as well, so it's like, I just wouldn't do dumb things really. So, and we had a good squad as well, so it's like the players around me helped me so much.
Yeah.
So they just made my game easier, so it's like, you just don't mess up. You just make the right decisions, and then, you know, sometimes you're playing with players, they're killing you, so they're making your job even harder now. But it's like they made it as easy as possible for me. Yeah. And then I was able to deliver.
That gives you a base. I think when you look at 21s players, if you get let go about playing any kind of football, and it happens all over the place, if they get let go at 19, 20 and they've never played professionally, you're making a guess. It's like an estimate of what level they can go to.
Yeah, yeah.
If you go somewhere and you prove, it's like, right, minimum he can play that level. So you've got like a base there set, rather than, like you say before, if you don't get that football, and a lot of, I think it's so key in your first year as a professional to go out and play, like whatever level it is, because you go there and you thrive. It's like, right, he's not at this level, he's above it. You go there and do a good job. It's like, right, minimum he can play this level, because there's been loads of cases of players where you'll look at a 21s team and go, right, I think you can probably play League One. It's not until he goes there, and maybe he does, but maybe he gets found out. It's like, our estimation was wrong. So actually doing that and proving yourself, it's like, right, this is the minimum I can play at. Now, was your thought process then to go and kick on at a higher level after that?
Yeah, so after that, obviously for me, it's still, after I got released, I'm still going to be a footballer. Like, I never thought I'll end up in non-league. I still thought I can get League One, League Two if I go on trial.
Yeah, and that's usually the mindset in academy football, isn't it? I'm at Leicester, so therefore I'm obviously going to get picked up by a Northampton or, you know.
But was there a belief in your time at the academy? You signed there at 9. Was there a belief at any point in that you were going to go and play for Leicester?
Yeah, because again, I'm not like the too confident or cocky person, but I know I was all right, innit? So it's like, I was progressing, innit?
Yeah.
So 18s now, when it's like, I'm still the only one here out of everyone else. Everyone's come and gone. I've got my pro and I've played sick. It's like, the harder it's getting, the better I'm getting, if you get what I'm saying. So I thought, even if I don't get into, I thought, I could get into, especially after my second year. It's like, why not? Like now, I feel like if I had that season playing now, they would have, I don't know, gave me some kind of reward or put me out on loan or something. Or maybe if I was at a different club, I could have got pushed into the first team. So yeah, I would say.
It's good to have that. You want people to have that.
Yeah,
100%. When you were released, how did the club go about that, and how did you go about dealing with it?
Again, because I didn't really feel the love from the club like that anyway. I just didn't feel that they rated me that much. So after my second year, I wanted to kind of leave Leicester because I've just played sick. So I just wanted to go somewhere else, but obviously you can't, innit? And they've offered you a contract, so it's like you're stuck here. So that's why I wasn't even bothered about the 1 year, because I thought even if they do release me, I don't actually mind going to another club where I feel just more rated.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And when you received the news about being released, how did they do that?
It's just like, it was with John Woodkin. He just told me I'm not getting a new contract. I didn't ask him what the reasons were to what.
Because you felt the writing was on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought, whatever you say to me, like you're not the biggest fan of me probably anyway. Like you just don't. I'm not your type of player. Again, I'm not that tall as a centre back either. So I'm only like 6 foot. So I'm thinking, yeah. It's cool, innit? I can just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
That was literally it.
And I think in football it is really, really personal. Like when I hear you describing that, and I think if people that are listening to this who are football fans rather than involved in football might listen to it and think, well, why do you feel so personally about it? Because I can kind of hear in the way you describe it, it's that we use that phrase in football, the manager didn't fancy me. And it's that kind of element of our ability as football players quite often defines us. If you think someone's a good football player, you think they're a good person, which is nonsense, of course. And we talked about when you arrived at primary school, all of a sudden you can play football, so therefore the kids like you. And it's that feeling of someone not rating you as a footballer. It feels like a very personal slight in a very different way to if you're working in an office environment and someone doesn't really rate your work, then you wouldn't feel the same personal kind of connection to that. Did it feel like a kind of rejection of you as a human being?
I didn't take it that personal because, again, it's like, I didn't have a problem with you. Like, we could speak in the corridors and stuff. Like, do you get what I'm saying? There wasn't a personal problem. It was just that, again, football's opinions. So, for example, my under-18s manager, he loved me because the style of play is the style of play he likes. Do you get what I'm saying? Well, someone else might not be the biggest fan of me. So I didn't take it personal. It's just your football preference of what you like. I didn't think it was a personal thing, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, right. Well, I get that. And it's, do you know what? There's quite a lot of analogies you can make with dating, which sounds like a weird thing to say, but I think this is kind of really relevant when you think about what then happened. It's about personal preference.
Yeah.
So that person is just not into you in the same way that that you might want them to be. And then you have to go back on the dating scene, which is trials.
Yeah.
And that is really, really hard. If anyone that's been on the dating scene knows that hard. Anyone that's been on trials at a football club, that's really hard. I think you had trials at quite a few clubs, and you talked about trials when you were 9 at Leicester going on for about 6 weeks. I think you had similar. I think you trialled at Stevenage. I think you trialled at Palace for a long, long time. You just weren't getting answers. That's quite demoralising at that point, because then you're thinking, hang on a minute, I was quite happy to leave Leicester, but all of a sudden, there's no one else who wants to date me.
Yeah, that's when like reality kicks in. It's like, it's not, you know what? But then I just blamed it on me being small as a centre back. So it's like, if they look at the thing and just see 6 foot centre back, they're not even going to bother. I didn't really connect it too tough about, no, this is the reality of it. It's not because you're small, it's because it's not that easy to just get signed for a League One, League Two.
It's easy to do that. I mean, you've said that before. There's all this data that exists in football, which all scouts have got at their fingertips. And I won't name any names, but I remember you telling me a situation where a club had said, we just went on the, what is it, WeScout or whatever else?
iScout, yeah.
Typed in centre-backs, 6'2" and up, and then get a list of them.
Yeah,
so you'd have been cut out of that.
Yeah.
And the problem that you had is that Fraser is 6'2" and up. But according to Wikipedia and all the data is that he's 6 foot because he was measured when he was 16.
Genuinely, I remember having that same fear of going, they're not going to see me as big enough. I remember going on Wikipedia at like 18, 19, trying to change my own page.
Really?
And someone kept changing it back. Kept changing it back. But I remember that was, some of these things, again, like I think it was Transfer Market said you were born in a different country or whatever. But some of this stuff is the same thing. I remember like getting height and weight taken at like 16, and then it stays with you for the rest of your career.
Ivan Toney's Wikipedia said he was 5'9" until about 2 years ago, and he's what, 6'3" or something.
Yeah, it's massive.
So did any of them trials? Did you think you were going to get a contract at when you were there?
The Stevenage, no, because it was weird. I went end of the season. They were training for playoffs, so it's like they didn't really care, innit?
Were you there as a bollard already to help them out with training?
It's
or
weird, no, because I wasn't helping them out with numbers. I don't know, like it was just weird. I even found it weird that I'm even training with them when they got playoffs. Like, why am I even here?
Yeah.
And then the Palace one, that was like just a number. It's just, again, the 21 system. If we sign you, it'd just be an extra number.
And a lot of lads do end up numbers in 21s, and it's really to facilitate the 2 or 3 lads who've got a real chance, because you've got to have a team around them. And that's it's quite difficult for a lot of lads to take. But then also conversely, every now and then one of those lads who is a bollard absolutely kicks on and ends up surprising everyone as well, and that's the kind of hope that you're clinging on to.
Yeah.
But it ended up being, but actually there's a quote from when you and I first spoke that I scribbled down, that you said at that stage, and I don't want to say this to slag anyone off, but my agent became quite hard to get hold of. That's something you've spoken about before. It's like all of a sudden when you ain't going to make them any money, then they're not interested.
Honestly, it's like, what like, we've got two different jobs. Because when I was doing well, your job was one thing. Now I'm not doing well. It's like, you can't do all the things he was doing before.
Yeah.
There's a young player that I spoke to 2 days ago who was in the same position. I think he's finished a 2-year Premier League club, but he's worried about bugging his agent. He's like, I don't want to feel like I keep ringing him. And it's like, no, his job is he's working for you. Like, you should never feel bad about, you reaching out to him or you being on his case. And then I think a lot of lads leave a career in the hands of an agent too much.
That's the problem.
And you have to take a bit of ownership and responsibility and go, right, maybe I have to start doing some stuff. I can't rely on this guy because, again, when you're at Leicester as a young player, some agents try and collect as many of those players as they can in the hope that one of them, kicks on and does it. For the others that maybe drop away like yourself, you can become less significant to them. So how did that play out for you the rest of the summer?
Again, it was a tough summer, depressing. All your mates have gone back. You're looking at social media. Everyone's doing their football posts and that. It was a tough time. But to be fair, I was going to Neaton, and they were doing like full time as well. So that helped because I was going there every day. But it was just tough, innit? Just coming to reality. It's like I didn't really want to go out. I didn't really want to go be seen in public until I get a pro club again. If you get what I'm saying.
I totally get what you're saying. It was something Conor Randall said on our first series. A lad that played for Liverpool. He played like 11 first team games. Unbelievable. But he got hauled off at half time in an FA Cup game, and he said he left the ground. He put his hood up, and he didn't want anyone to see that shit footballer. And I just think, I mean, I couldn't get anywhere near to you on a football pitch, Peps. But for you to feel like that, it's that kind of, because you've done well, you're at Leicester, everyone that you grew up with, you're the kid at Leicester, or something. You're not the kid at Leicester. And you've got a humiliation on that. I totally get that.
The emotion is shame. It's like you feel shame and you feel a bit of embarrassment.
It is.
And it is that thing of, again, like a big part of your identity as well. It's like, I want to be, I think this is a big thing with if you have something I try and get across to players now as well. If you have like a really strong sense of self in not just me, the footballer, if you have a real strong sense of self in you as a person, I think you then treat that situation slightly differently. I think when a lot of your identity is tied up into, if I'm a good footballer, then I'm doing well. If I'm a bad footballer, I can't. It's like if you have your strong sense of identity to go, doing all I can, this is part of my journey, I think then it makes it easier. But I think when your identity is wrapped up into it, that's why it creates those situations
problems,
where you do feel incredible shame with it.
You can't help it though. Again, like say, if you're there from the age of 9, it gets embedded in you. As I'm going in school, I'm telling everyone I play for less, but I'm not bragging about it. But it's, if someone asks me about myself, that's like what I've been playing for the last 10 years. So now that gets taken away from you, it's like, whoa.
Yeah. And do you know what, talking about Instagram, I love what you say about that, because it's something we talk to young footballers about a lot. So we're talking to boys aged between 16 and 18 about social media and saying, this is what your socials looks like nowadays. I might even pull up your Insta, because I'm glad you've left it there, because it belongs there. It's a really important part of your journey. But you go back to your old post right at the beginning on Instagram, and there's you in your Leicester kit, and it's the comments, which are great, but I don't say this to be negative about anyone. Everyone giving you God, you've got a load of content on there, so it's and quite rightly so. But it's everyone talking about how proud they are of you and how well you're doing, and the flame emojis and the goat emojis, and it's lovely. But what we try and tell the boys to do is to observe that and realise it for what it is. This is for this period, these 2 years, you're going to get niceness, and it's going to go one of two ways. Either you're going to start playing first team football and you start getting some not so nice stuff, or you're going to not be playing first team football, and it's the absence of it that is much more difficult to deal with. And you said that kind of seeing those Instagram stories that your mates do, back at it, pre-season training, blah, 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 and that kind of sense of, well, I guess jealousy probably is the right word, and I know you'd be happy for them, but that cuts really, really deep, doesn't it?
No, 100%. You start thinking, I should be there. Why is he there? Like, not about your mates, even about players you've played against, same ages as you. It's like when people start breaking the first team, what? And start thinking, oh, well, if I was at his club.
Yeah, absolutely. And it becomes difficult to reflect on all the good stuff that's happened and then the possibilities for the future. So it's quite nice that we sit here now at the age of 28, 29, because we've got loads of really great stuff to reflect on that you ended up doing. And I guess there must be that element, and this is what you are doing in going into clubs and talking to young players, is helping them to understand the lessons you've learned through experience without having to go through some of the shit that you've had to go through as well. And it's that element of, so you were looking for a club after being released, you had trials, unsuccessful, and around that time, because you'd been so wrapped up in a footballer's identity, you were kind of scrambling around for what to do. So you went and did a sports management course whilst working at an estate agent's.
Yeah.
And I guess it's that sense of, if you had your time again or you're advising someone else, you would probably have said to them, find out what it is that's you, that's not just a footballer, and start doing that so you're ready for it. Because did it feel like that you were scrambling around like, oh, I'll do a sports management course because I'm involved in sport?
Obviously the topic is just sports related, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I just did it because I knew I needed to keep myself busy. I didn't want to not have anything to do because then the head loss would get even worse. So at least I'm doing that in the background. It's like deep down I knew I have to do something else. So I haven't done it with my chest, but I've still done it a bit, if you get me.
Yeah, no, I totally get. And there was another quote from that you'd said to me, and actually, maybe I think this was maybe during your injury, but you felt this at times in your career. You've obviously got a loving set of parents who adore you and want you to do well. And I say this as a parent myself, like, I'm so desperate. My daughter's doing her GCSEs at the moment. I wish I could get in there and do the exam for her, but I can't.
Yeah.
And you can't. And you felt, I think it was when you were injured, you felt like you were letting them down.
Yeah,
They would never have wanted you to feel like that, but that's a strong emotion, isn't it?
Yeah, but you have to, innit? Because you got to think. Like the whole family would come and watch games. When I was younger, my mum used to take me there on the bus. My sister might have to come. It's the hours, and then as you get older, you actually realise the amount of hours they've come to support. Because then, as you're older, you realise some players didn't get that support. Their parents weren't always there, so it's like I can't. All that effort, I can't let it go to waste, and just give up.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you feel like you're not doing it for yourself. It's like you're doing it for them, for all the hard work they've put in.
But do you know what? And I know that your mum and dad would say as well. I have a guess that they would say this. Like, they don't do it as an investment in you. They do it because they love you.
Well, I reckon for my mum it is, but I reckon for my dad it was an investment.
It's always the dad. It's always the dad. Right, moving swiftly off from that one. Right, so you actually ended up back at Corby, which at the time, and this is we were chatting a lot before we started recording about non-league football, which Fraser and I both love non-league football, but it's chaos non-league football. So you went to Corby, they'd just been promoted to the National League North, and for all intents and purposes, it was a great move back because you were loved there, you'd done well there, you were I think you were one of their highest paid players when you got a contract there, but as is non-league football, they started running out of money. They were then struggling towards the bottom of the table. And when non-league clubs are struggling, they can just get rid of people because they don't sign 2-year, 3-year contracts.
Non-contract.
So you were there for not that long. No, because their money troubles kicked in quite early. They'd overstretched themselves, I guess.
So as I said, I was at Nuneaton in pre-season, but then trialing at Palace as well. But then Nuneaton didn't like that, and then I ended up.
It's like dating. You've seen another girl.
Yeah. But no, literally. So I ended up going Corby because at Nuneaton I was just on the bench. So I ended up going Corby because I just play same league. So
same manager presumably, so he knows you.
Yeah, same manager. Still some of the same players that I was with last season as well. Gone there a month, results ain't getting better. I got the chop. Not because I was playing horrible. Again, it's like money. It's just, you've brought in these players, they've not improved them, just chop it again, try something else. And then that's when the head loss really kicked in because it's like November now, I haven't got a club.
Yeah.
You
haven't dropped from Leicester, you dropped from Corby. Even though it's just because of money, you've all of a sudden been released by Corby and you haven't been released by a championship Premier League club. Yeah.
So it's like, where do I go from here? And again, the links and stuff like that, it's like I don't know managers in non-league. I only know the Corby manager because that's where I was at, and then the Nuneaton because he's the one that messaged me, but no one, I don't know how it works. Just head loss. And then Kettering manager messaged me and said, just come Kettering, you'll be on less money than that, but just come and enjoy your football.
That's the same division as Corby, isn't it?
No, they were a league lower now.
Oh, okay.
So that's going back to step 3.
Right.
And I thought, you know what, I ain't got a choice. No one else has rang me. Let me just go play football. But these times, I still knew that if I'm playing every week and I'm playing well, I know there's still a way to get back up.
Yeah.
So it's like, I didn't mind going step 3 again, just playing. I just wanted to play now and just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that was like one of the best, probably 5 months I've had at football.
Yeah, things weren't okay. I think they got back up to National League North.
Yeah, they ended up going back up.
But I think, was it even before then that you then got picked up by Boston United, which is National League?
They were step 2.
Right, okay, National League North, I guess.
Yeah, North, yeah. So I did that season, finished it, and then the season after I went Boston in step 2. So again, my plan's kind of working, because it's like, I'm working myself up. I've done like a season in step 3, did well, got a move to step 2, and then 10 games into the season, that's when I do my ACL at Stockport away. So it's like, it's actually decent, because Stockport, decent ground, was like 3,000-4,000.
They've just lost the playoff semi-final to get up to the championship.
Yeah.
Obviously, and that was only a few years ago you played in that game. So presumably there's 4,000 or 5,000 people watching that game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it actually felt like being a proper player. Did my ACL, and that's when...
This is what becomes dark, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the end.
So yeah, listener discretion is advised. This is where it gets really dark. So that injury was devastating too, and it resulted. So I've got written down, you had between the age of 22 and 25, you had 3 ACL ops.
Yeah.
And you didn't play any real level of football.
I didn't play football at all.
No. So why did you have to have so many ops? Just the ops were not being successful?
No, because the op went successful, but then there's like a 4% chance of, when you do an ACL reconstruction, it's called a cyclops lesion, where the tissue just grows uncontrollably. So again, I was unlucky to get that, and I didn't know. So it's like 15 months after my ACL, I'm still not running. I still can't bend my knee, straighten my knee's swollen. It's like, something's not right. Get a scan, and then find out it's a cyclops lesion. And all that is, they literally just have to cut the tissue, and then...
So if it is, you've got to go back and have it done again? The operation? No,
so one is like, the reconstruction, the tissue grows, but once you cut it, then it's done, if you get me. Yeah. So that cyclops lesion doesn't come back. So now I'm thinking, like, cool, I'm just unlucky, but if they cut this tissue now, I should be all right.
But you're not.
Again, another year's gone, knee still swollen and that, like, I'm just in the gym doing my rehab. I'm going to St. George's Park, doing the rehab thing for a week.
And was that through PFA or something?
Through the PFA. Again, if it wasn't for the PFA, I wouldn't have been able to get my first operation, get my scans. Like, they helped me out massively. Even with the whole St. George's, that rehab program, like, yeah, if it wasn't for all of that, I wouldn't have got back to playing. And then again, so I went there 1 week again. I remember, I think I've been there like 3-4 times. I've absolutely rinsed up. And then
you got your own room.
Yeah. Every year they know I'm coming back. And yeah, still same thing. Get another scan, and then they said I tore my meniscus. How? I haven't, like, when I say I haven't been running, I've just been in the gym, just doing your rehab, strengthening. That's it. And just like bike fitness. That's it. Yeah. So how have I torn my meniscus? Then get a third operation. And then I kind of gave up, because it's like 3 years now. All these operations, it's like, I'm not 21 anymore. I'm like 24 now. Yeah. It's like, mate, you've got to get serious now, innit? You've actually got to think what you're going to do with your life, innit? Because it's like, for the last 3 years, I've been trying to get fit, because I said to myself, get back fit, then find a career, and then just, you're playing football, getting money there, have your career, that'll be all right. But it was just an excuse not to let football go, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I was just lying to myself, because I could have really, truly started a career at the same time. I should have, but I didn't. And then next, so gave up, lockdown come, and you know how everyone comes, like, was at home, innit? So my friends are full-time or whatever. Now everyone wants to train. So I started taking the sessions. Oh, sorry, before in that story, again, because it was so dark, And I was hating everything. I thought, oh, let me start DJing.
And are you living with mum and dad at this stage as well?
Still living it.
So it's that kind of, so you're not really got any way of making money, or you're doing some stuff with the estate agents, or?
Yeah, again, it's just estate agents stuff. I worked for Amazon doing delivery driving, like PE coaching stuff. So it's like those 3 jobs I had in that time period as well.
And then lockdown hits you, like some of those jobs are not possible.
To be fair, because I always had savings, like from Leicester I had savings, and then as I was working, I was saving my money. I wasn't really too bothered. Like I could go 6 months without working because I'll just live off my savings for 6 months until I find the next job I want to do. But because my main thing was to get back fit, that was actually my main priority. So it's like I would sacrifice other things for my rehab to get back fit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just told my mum at Christmas, get me some decks in it, because I'm not enjoying anything in life, like nothing. Like even rehab, I'm not enjoying it. Like everything's so depressing. I just wanted to do something where it's like I'm enjoying it, like I would be enjoying football.
Yeah, that it's the way that Peps describes that. I've started calling you Peps, DJ Peps. That, I mean, that's a symptom of depression. Nothing will make him happy, because you're in that situation where it seems as though you're getting no success in your recovery, and the dream that you always had is slipping away and slipping out of your hands. And I think when you fall into that level of depression, it's like, nothing will make me happy. And that's what I think is so beautiful. Now we come to the point about the decks, is it was a sort of throwaway. I need something that's just going to take me away and make me happy.
Yeah.
And it's a Christmas present from your mum when you're about 23, 24. And it ends up being your saviour as well.
Yeah, literally.
Which is really really incredible and really, really beautiful. So, I mean, what inspired you with that? I mean, just being interested in, and we were discussing this before, music and football fit together really, really nice. Those kind of dressing rooms. And I think it's a real privilege to be in a professional football dressing room, because no matter what level you play at, you'll be sat with lads that you wouldn't be sat with unless you could play football.
Yeah.
All different ethnicities and religions and backgrounds and outlooks. You know, these are not the group of people you grew up with. There are a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds. And football is something that brings people together. And so is music. And I guess that would have been the case in your dressing rooms as well.
No, definitely. I think why music, again, I think it's more UK culture. I've grown up on UK culture, and music's a big part of that UK culture. So it's like, it's everyone's release, really, innit? So it's like, I like my mixes, I like grime. Like, I love grime. So it's like, I really wanted to DJ so I can make grime mixes that I can just listen for myself, really. But again, it's like, it takes a lot of time doing a mix. It's the whole process, and you're enjoying it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's literally the purpose why I got my decks, just to make my own mixes that I can listen to. And I knew it'd take me some time, and I knew I'd enjoy it.
And enjoying the craft. We talk about this in football. Like, enjoy the game, not the sideshow of it.
Yeah.
So you didn't get your DJ decks to be a superstar DJ.
No.
You did it because you love doing it, and that's what's really, really crucial.
Yeah, that was the initial thing. So yeah, then I've gone, because that was just before, literally the year before lockdown. Then I've gone just doing my mixes, now I'm posting on social media and stuff. But then I got to a point where, probably like 10 months in, where it's like, you know what? If I want to take this DJing thing serious, I've got to change my social media handle on Instagram. That was like a massive thing, because now I'm publicly changing my identity.
Yeah. From baller to DJ.
To DJ, do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, and you're kind of thinking, oh, what are people going to think? Oh, people are going to think, oh, this guy flopped. Oh, look at him, he's forcing it. Oh, do you get what I'm saying? Like, that was like a big thing. Like even till now, I hate people calling me DJ Peps.
Oh, no. Yeah. I've done it during this. I'm so sorry.
But I don't know, like, I just hate it because it's like, I think it just reminds me of that whole transition period, because it was so tough.
yeah, absolutely. Well, Hervé. But it's do you know what? It's interesting you should say that. I totally understand that. There's a quote we quite often sometimes use from the Stoic philosophers, from Marcus Aurelius. If you ever seen the original Gladiator, he was the guy that really influenced Maximus. Obviously, Maximus wasn't a real person, but there we go. Marcus Aurelius was, and he talks about our perception of ourselves. And he says something along the lines of, it never ceases to amaze me. We care more about ourselves than anyone else, but we care more about their opinions than our own. And that element, and by the way, that's not me criticising you for feeling the way you did. I would feel exactly the same. It's that element of shame. Shame is such a powerful human emotion. And then when you put yourself out there, and that's what footballers do, they don't realise they're doing it, putting themselves out there to be shot down. And you were the kid from that tough school in Leicester that became the kid that played for Leicester. So you rose above everyone. Everyone was looking at them jealous, proud, all those other positive and negative emotions, and all of a sudden you're not there. But then what is quite beautiful about your story is that although you still feel a cringe if someone does call you Peps, you have...
Peps is fine, it's the DJ
DJ Peps, right.
Because everyone actually calls me Peps now. That's like my name.
Cool. But the thing is, like, you have successfully re-established your dual identity, right? You'll never not be, and this is an important thing for you as well, I think, Fraser, you'll never not be an ex-footballer. And I know you never wanted to be someone that walked into a room at the age of 45 and they said, what do you do? Well, I used to play football. But it's a really important part of your story and your narrative, and it will be for you as well. But it's that kind of dual identity you've created, because what you've created is something really, really successful. And I really want to talk about not just the success of the DJing in and of itself, but also one thing you really want to do is that you had some tough times in football, but football helped you as well, the PFA being one great example. And it's the reason that we're talking is because we do some work with Watford, and you do some work with Watford as well. We saw you went and did some work with the boys there. You go in and do some DJing with the lads, but more important than that is the message that comes from it. And I sound like the thing that annoys my kids. It's like, oh, Dad, it doesn't have to be a life lesson behind everything, but actually it's what's really nice is music brings dressing rooms together. And so you go in and bring in some, I sound like the 46-year-old man I am, some really cool music that the lads enjoy and enjoy the craft of DJing. But there is a really important message behind it, which is you wish you would have found something beyond football. Doesn't mean that you don't focus on football, but you could have found something like this, and probably would have been this. If you'd have found that when you were 15, 16, 17, it would have made this journey a lot easier for you.
Way easier. It would have saved like 7 years of graft, pain.
And so what are the lads like when you go to? I'd say Watford. That's just the one that we spotted. You've been across the country this year. How do the lads respond to it? And tell us a bit about what you do with the boys.
So the workshops, how that come about is that, again, I've not wanted to do this type of work. I've not even been wanting to work in the football industry like that, if you get what I'm saying. So I just did it once at Leicester because we got like an alternative careers day with ex-players. Cleveland Taylor, the player care at Leicester, set that up. And then he just asked me, come be in the question and answer bit, and you just have 2 groups, just DJ with them for like half an hour.
So Stephen's idea?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's literally all what he said to me. So I was like, all right, cool. I've got half an hour, 2 groups, what am I going to do? And then I just made up the workshop. I just thought I'll just do a presentation. And then I did it with my boy as well, Jordan, because I was working with him at that time.
And this is the lad that's got I've got a shout out, not that we're a podcast that you're going to get loads of sales on, but he does a fashion brand.
The DTR.
And so he did a little collab with Leicester City as well.
Yeah, he did a collab with
made him kind of street art, turn it into some fashion, and branding it Leicester. And so, and that comes back to a word we used earlier on, which is entrepreneurialism.
Yeah.
Which is, you're not someone that would do a desk job. Working estate agents is not for you. Being an entrepreneur, and I guess Jordan's been a good influence in that.
Yeah, he's exactly the same. That's why I got him to join in on the presentation, because I need to show these lot. It's like, even if you're not playing football, we all love football, you can still be involved in the industry through something you like. Jordan likes clothes, so he is in the industry through his passion.
Yeah.
I did it through music. Them lot could do it, I don't know, someone might want to be a chef through cooking or whatever you like. Do you get what I'm saying?
Barbering's one of those ones we discussed as well that comes up quite a lot as well.
Yeah.
These things do go together quite nicely. The fashion, you're not surprised to hear you saying that. There's a lot of players and ex-players that have got fashion brands and get involved in something like that. And we do reports for clubs, transfer reports, when they're looking at signing players, just to understand who the lad is and how they can persuade him to join and help him when he does join. Fashion comes up loads. A hell of a lot that the lads sometimes it's just commercial because they're making money, but a lot of the time it's because they genuinely love this stuff. And I guess it's football, out of all the sports, is such a creative art. Am I being a little bit too pretentious in saying it is, isn't it?
No, it is.
For sure. And what was the main thing you got from doing that talk? Did you leave that with a clear vision of what you wanted to do afterwards?
No, I just did it that one time. I thought, you know what? I just thought, you know what? This was a fun day.
Yeah.
I'm around in a football environment, but doing what I want to do with the players. If you get what I'm saying, it's not like I'm here at this football club, but I'm working. It didn't feel like work because I'm doing what literally I want to do. Do you get what I'm saying? That's the only thing I thought of it. And then Wigan messaged me that same season. I went into Wigan. Again, I didn't think, I want to make it a thing. But then everything changed when I won the Premier League Alumni of the Year award. So, if I take it back, so basically in lockdown, I was able to get back fit. When lockdown finished, I went on trial to Colville in Step 3, ended up signing for them after being out for 5 years, obviously 3 ops with no club as well. So now I'm at Colville, so back in non-league football. Clubs will come back. So I started DJing in clubs because before lockdown, obviously I'm still learning. And then when I was ready to get into clubs, it was lockdown. So now I'm DJing in clubs, and I had a full-time job which was alternative education, like a mentor. So I was doing that job at the same time. So it's like my week used to be working Monday to Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, football, evening, Friday night I'll DJ, Saturday, play my game, and then Saturday night DJ again. So I've done that for like the last 4 years, basically. And then as well with the DJ now, after lockdown, when I'm taking it more serious, I'm thinking, cool, I'm just going to connect football and DJing. I don't know what's going to come from it because it's not been done before, but because they're my 2 passions, I'm just going to make them one and make people know me for that. Do you get what I'm saying? So again, that's why I was doing the whole on my social media. I'll show everyone that I'm DJing the night before, playing football, then DJing again. When I'm DJing, I'm wearing Plays Football shirts, but they're like my mates. So for like Marcus Harness, who's at Ipswich, Colby Bishop, my boy Wes Harding, my boy Barry Lulubal, I wear their shirts and DJ sets. Like to get that image of the DJ that plays football. Do you get what I'm saying?
I like it.
So now I've done that for a solid 4 years. I've played for Colville and Barwell as well. So that image is coming now. And again, now I'm doing stuff with my boy Didici as well, because I quit my job and I started working full time with him. And again, the experiences we had with him is around football. We went to Dortmund through Puma to give Sebastian Haller a frame with like a shirt with like designs on Ivory Coast, him winning the thing. But again, it's around football. Do you get what I'm saying? So like for my personal brand, it's like I'm doing all these different things, but they're still through football, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so
work to run through. It's always been a part of your life and always will.
Do you get what I'm saying? So even working with my friend, it helped me. Again, the things we've done, like Leicester collab, Chelsea collab, Leeds collab, like we've had some sick experience, like invited to the Adidas HQ in Germany.
Yeah.
I
saw you in a Millwall shirt the other day.
Yeah. That's my boy, he's there now. So yeah, then again, Cleveland Taylor, player care guy, he nominated me for the Premier League Academy Alumni Award. Obviously, he said he's going to do it, and I was like, yeah, cool, whatever. Didn't think anything of it. But then I get an email saying I won. I was like, oh, that's sick. And the Alumni Award is basically an award for someone that's come through the academy system, but it's doing something away from, obviously, football now. So that's come now, I won the award. Then I thought to myself, wait a minute. If the Premier League's recognised me for what I've done, how I've tried to bridge the gap between football and DJ and whatever, and I've done these 2 workshops with Leicester and Wigan, surely they could put me on their programme, because these times I don't even really know what the programmes are. Just remember, when I was in academy, people used to come in. So I'm thinking, obviously the Premier League would have a programme of people, surely I can get on that. spoke to the Prem, went through the, what's it called? Not auditions.
The application.
Applications and stuff like that. They had a meeting and they said they can't put me on the programme, so this would be this season. So the last season that's just gone, they can't put me on it. They've gave me pointers on how I can get better and stuff. So then I thought to myself, you know what? I'm just going to go into as many clubs as I can by myself, without no one else in it. And then at the end of this season, see what happens. So then...
And you've managed, I mean, your socials tell a story. You've been into loads of clubs now. And one of the real keys is the feedback you're getting. So, as I said, this is how we heard your story. Nathan Jopp, who's a great guy at Watford, posted about it on LinkedIn, maybe not as cool as Instagram. There was something in the way that he described it. It was, I want to tell people I'm not just ticking a box by posting this on LinkedIn. This guy was great. He came in and the lads bloody loved it. And that is the point. It's when you talk to young footballers, you've got to talk to them in a language that they relate to and understand their journeys and talk to them about things they're interested in.
Yeah, definitely.
Because the message is quite a busy message in many ways. It's like you're telling them to think about what life outside football, but you're using it with a beautiful art, something that they like, music, like urban music, grime music. That is going to get the boys interested.
What is the response you get in the room from the boys usually?
So, again, because they see the decks, they're warm to me because like, yo, this is cool. But at the end of the day, it's a workshop. So, you know, a workshop is like, there's another hour of the same message. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, I get that feeling from them when they're just, it's like, they're intrigued because the decks, so what's going to happen here? But it's still like, and then I start with a presentation as well. Do you get what I'm saying? But then through my presentation, again, I'm not talking at them. I'm not saying do this, do that. I'm telling them the same way I'm telling you my story. Yeah. I'm just telling them my story. So I'm trying to put them through my eyes to make them understand the reality of what happens and how football works and the different scenarios and just the reality of it, because what you think until you live it is not what it is, if you get what I'm saying.
And I guarantee in that room there will be a number of boys who don't want to hear it because their view will be, I don't need to hear this because I'm going to play professional football and I'm going to earn so much money that I'm not going to have to worry about it. But you will get through to a sizable minority.
Yeah.
There'll be a decent amount of lads that'll be sitting there thinking, yeah, he's right.
But the message has also got to be like, even if you are a professional footballer, even if you are, it's like you finish at 1 o'clock if you're a pro. You know, you've got the rest of the day. Right. But also, whatever age it is, whether you stop playing at 18, 21, 35, like we talked about Jolie and Lescott's DJing at the minute, it's like one day that's gone. So whether it's DJing or whether you might open them up to something else creative, it might not be DJing, it might be drawing or whatever it might be. It might be something online they do. But you just open their curiosity to go, I'm not just in this box of, I've got to do my tactical analysis, my physical this. It exposes them to something different because, again, if you're in that system from like 7 till 19, you're not getting exposed to a whole variety of things. So this is something brand new for a lot of them.
Yeah. Then that's what I want the workshop to do, because even if you don't activate at that moment, because you haven't had the experience yet, when you do have the experience, I just hope you remember the workshop. And if you just remember, just remembering the fact that, oh, he was like me, but then he's gone to do whatever he wants, in a way, I can do it. If you just have that piece of information, because I didn't have that piece of information when I got released. For me, it's just either get a proper career or you're done.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be that way.
I do think with some of the workshops and education that they've been given as well, doesn't make it sexy enough for the boys. Like they'll come in, and I remember having electrician courses, plumbing courses, this, and the boys that are aspiring to be footballers, they don't want to hear that. But if they see someone that does something that's deemed as pretty cool, or something that's a bit different, or something that isn't maybe 9 to 5, or even if they do talk about becoming an electrician, they don't make it sexy enough about owning your own business or having people work for you and how your lifestyle can look. It was just go and tick this box and do that course. But it's exposing things and making it attractive, because again, this is something the boys can access. They can have, you're exposing them to a certain lifestyle as well. It's you know, with DJing and football, you travel the world doing that. You can work your own hours, you can follow your passion. And for you,
it's the crowd.
Exactly, all these kind of things. It's exposing them to those, not necessarily just the DJing.
And it gives you as well the same highs as in football. I was thinking about it the other day, but it's like DJing football, a crowd.
Yeah.
So it's like,
seeing the way they respond to you.
Yeah, but it's like having a match day though. So I feel like I'm in a football pattern in a way because your game's on a Saturday. My set is on a Saturday. So it's like I treat my DJ sets as if I'm preparing for my match in the week, training, I'm on my laptop. So it's like I'm getting the same highs as I was getting from football.
Do you get the same nerves?
Yeah, it's the same nerves and the same highs. Even like, for example, like DJing for the Prem giving you a hotel, it feels like a footballer.
Yeah.
I got
your wash bag.
Yeah. I've got, no, it's a bit more than a wash bag because I got my rucksack and all my bags and stuff. But it's like, it's an away game. The club's provided me with a hotel, stayed over there, I've performed. Do you get what I'm saying? It's the same type of highs.
What kind of pressures come with DJing a big set?
You just can't mess up. There's just so many people. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just a mass of people because it's like, and especially if they're having a good time as well, it's like
You're in charge of their good time.
Yeah. You don't want to jump on now and stink it out. And stink it out because it's like there's so many people.
And I'll ask you both this question. Did you, when you stepped on the football pitch, think to yourself, because football fans are mad, they really are, and you lose, you're playing for Newport and you lose at home, there's a bloke that's going to go home and drink himself into a stupor because he can't deal with the fact that Newport County have lost. Did you ever kind of think, like, I am really impacting whether people have a good weekend or a bad weekend? And did you, because non-league football is exactly the same, there might be less people there, but it's exactly the same.
I think I was so self-absorbed that I knew I was going home in that kind of state. So I probably didn't care about the guy that was booing me as much, but you definitely, you know, if you have a bad game or a defeat, you take it home. Have you, and also you have to be great at something, you have to suffer. So if you had to suffer on gain those like negative experiences that come with it as well.
100%.
Bad gig,
100%. No, 100%. But even with what you said, I feel like, depending on the type of player you are, but I'm someone that always wants to give my best. So I'll never pie it off. I'll never pie off a set. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And always try and do the right.
Yeah, only 10 people have turned up. I'm going to give them 10,000.
Do you get what I'm saying? So say, for example, if I did stink it out, I wouldn't think about how they feel because I didn't purposely do it. I actually tried my best. So if I've ruined your weekend, I'm sorry, but I tried my best.
And have you, so when, obviously with being a young Leicester Academy player, there's a goal of, right, I want to get into that first team. When you started doing gigs, did you have a goal of a certain set you want to do or a certain place in the world that you want to DJ at?
Not necessarily a certain place. So it's not like I had like, oh, I want to DJ at this festival.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be at a certain level of DJing to, just get to, it's like, I wanted to be a Premier League DJ, if you get me.
Yeah.
That was my only ambition.
How does it work on a Friday night before a game? Is that a tougher gig?
It's tough.
And what time do you usually go on till?
So it's tough for Leicester. Like you have to do the whole night. So it's like 9 till 3, 9 till 2.
See, at this stage of my life, I don't believe that 2 a.m. exists.
It's tough.
Unless I'm waking up in the middle of the night for a week.
You could get in at 3:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then you've got an away game that leaves at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Get home at 3, and then by the time your body switches off and everything, it's 5 o'clock.
Yeah, because it is that exact same thing, I imagine, with football, where you have a night game, like the adrenaline the ups and downs, that you don't sleep until God knows when in the morning. So is it the same with DJ?
Yeah, it's literally the same as that. And then even like, it's tough because you're standing for hours. And on a Friday night, I won't drink. So now, drunk people come in, the socialising aspect, like my social battery's on 0. Because, listen, I'm just here to do my job. Don't talk to me. Now people want to
requesting songs.
Requests, they're the worst. And it's like, you're at work, so you have to act a certain way. Do you get what I'm saying? I can't just tell you to go away. Like, I have to
try and put the face on.
Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, that's draining. And when you're drunk, it's easier, innit? But when you're sober...
And you do Saturdays as well. There's a great, I think I might mention it in the intro, it's a great video. It's one of your pinned posts on Instagram. Were you at Colville when you did that video, or was that a bar?
That one's at Colville,
Yeah, so you did 24 hours in your day, it was Saturday. And it's only a 1-minute video, but it's exhausting watching it, because you see you have a tough game. I think you might have lost 1-0 or something. It was a tough game. or maybe you scratched out a draw, but anyway, it was a tough game. You were defending all game. And then you go back to Leicester, I think, to go and DJ. 2 sets on a Saturday night. So you imagine finish a game for Colville, finish that 5 o'clock.
And then it was
probably got to hang around for a little while being nice to everyone.
No.
You straight out, are you? And then you're on
I DJ'd in my tracksuit that day because it was back.
Where do you club tracksuit?
Yeah.
There's the football theme.
But that's the football theme as well. But I didn't actually have a choice because it's Bath away. So literally, by the time I got to Leicester, got back to the coach, into my car, I had to go straight to the club. I haven't got time because I'm already late. I think I was meant to be there for 9. I ended up getting there like 9:45. I had no time to like really get food, so I've ordered food there. Like club tracksuit on.
Club tracksuit, eating his food behind the decks.
Yeah, no, literally, it's in the video as well. And then straight back on it. And then that day I didn't finish till like 6.
6 a.m.
Yeah, because I did 9 till 2, and then like 2:30 till 5:30, 6.
My lord, how people got energy to stay in clubs till that late? God,
So how often are you DJing at the minute?
At the minute, it's usually Friday, Saturdays. Just Friday, Saturdays.
And is that a regular spot that you'll do that?
Nah, I haven't got a residency, so it's like private bookings or like clubs.
And you said you'd done kind of ex-teammates' weddings and stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that. That's another thing I wanted to get into. So again, I've DJed for Sam Morsey's wedding, Colby Bishop's wedding, and even like non-league players now or messaging.
It's nice, and they let you do like nice little videos.
Yeah,
great.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
You did. I saw a really fun one. There was a white woman married a lad of African heritage, and all the families getting together in the traditional garb and all that.
That was Dan Udo's wedding.
Right.
Oh yeah.
From Wickham. Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah, brilliant.
That was sick. Yeah, and that's the other thing I want to give people as well. I want people to see the experience I see in it, because even like with the Premier League stuff and stuff like that, it's like you don't see it. You don't see how those events are, and especially from like a DJ's perspective. From like an urban background and stuff like that as well. Yeah. It's just like very commercial settings, but it's like someone urban that's in there as well. Yeah. So I want to give people that point of view as well.
Yeah.
Through my socials.
Wedding DJs can be cool. It's not just playing Come On Eileen.
Yeah. No, literally. And again, with the football thing, it's the connections, just showing the people the connections that, look what I'm doing through my connections from football. Like, it's not hard. Like, I'm not the best DJ. Like, I wouldn't say I'm flipping top 10 DJs in England. I can do all these mad things. No, I can just do the job with it. But I'm getting better opportunities because I'm using my network from football. Yeah. That's it.
But if you look at like what you described there, even like using your network, but like the pressure, the adrenaline, how many of those lessons have you probably learned from football that you can then translate into what you're doing now?
But again, this is what I say to the kids. I have like a slide, transferable skills, and I say to them, everything you lot have learned from football, and this is the other thing I feel like, like when footballers go into normal life, they always are at the top at whatever jobs they've got, because they're already so upskilled, if you get what I'm saying. Any other job I've gone into, I feel like if I really tried, I would smash this job, because things that you're stressing about, what are you stressing about? Like, if a manager being annoyed with you, that wouldn't bother me, because I've had a gaffer screaming in my face.
Well, there's a bit on your cheeks. You've had to really deal with bad bosses.
I ain't scared of this manager. What's the worst he's going to do to me? Do you get what I'm saying? Or like pressure management, I say to him as well, it's like, when you're on the pitch, mate, you've got to perform now. You can't make a mistake. Or in training, it was get it from, if I'm a centre back, get the ball, give it to my right back. But the picture changes really quick, innit? So you've got to adapt on the spot, under pressure, make the right decision. So when I'm DJing, I might have planned in my head, all right, cool, I'm going to go play this song next. But now 10 girls have walked in. I've got to adapt on the spot.
I didn't realise you adapt like that.
Adapt on the spot, because I'm thinking, they've just walked in now, I need to keep them in there. So I need to do that now. Because if I'm 3 songs I play and they don't like it, they could walk back out. So,
and that's cost the bar.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Ahead,
So it's like, as I'm playing, it's like football. I'm constantly scanning, constantly reading the situation, reading the game.
Checking your shoulders.
Checking my shoulders. No, it's literally, because if the door's behind me, I'm checking my shoulders, see who's walking in.
It's a brilliant thing to get across to the boys.
Yeah. That's the example I always use to them. It's the exact same thing as football.
Yeah.
And that can apply to so many other areas. It's just exposing them and opening them up to that.
Yeah.
But also just using like some of the other things that you touch on there. It's like taking risks. It's like, you know, the easy thing for you maybe to have done was to go, right, this is probably the box I'm in with the estate agent job or this. Or you go, I know this is a bit of a gamble and a bit of a risk, but these are the two things that I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
And then now you create a niche. You know, we've seen the niche, clubs have seen the niche. Players, I think, will start seeing the niche more and more, and it feels like a really good time for you.
No, definitely.
From my point of view, you get one go at life. Just go and enjoy it. Find something you absolutely love and give it everything, and that's what you've done.
That's what I think, because I think I can always at 35 just get an employed job. It can always happen. But even with this experience, I could get an employed job now. For example, I could probably get a half decent job at the Prem just because of what I've done so far. So this whole experience just ends up being beneficial.
Yeah.
Even if you do go back to employed job, it might be something that's more for you. Instead of, if I didn't do this, I would have just had to go work at, I don't know, like an estate agency again, but I don't want to do it. At least here, I might get opportunities with jobs that I don't mind.
Well, I feel very confident you're not going to have to go back to a estate agent. Yeah, that's your future, because I think you're making a huge success of this. I think you're positively influencing a lot of young lads, and a lot of young lads that need that positive influence, because it's a tough journey, a really tough journey, which you two have both been through. Peps, I think I can call you that as long as I don't add details. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on.
Thank you.
So thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
That's amazing.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Football Journeys. Before you go, and if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to leave us a review, a rating, or talk about us on social media. Find us on @JourneysPod. Your support helps us to make this podcast a success. Thank you for your support.